सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। 34 onwards. द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् मया हतांस्त्वं जहिमा व्यथिष्ठाः। युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान्। संजय उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी। नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाह कृष्णम् स गद्गदं भीतभीतः प्रणम्य अर्जुन उवाच स्थाने हृषीकेश तव प्रकीर्त्या जगत्प्रहृष्यत्यनुरज्यते च। रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्घाः। कस्माच्च तेन न मेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्त्रे।
Gariyase brahmanopyadikarte
Ananta Devesha Jagadnivasa
Ananta devesha jagannivasa
Swamaksharam Sadasattah Param Yat
Tvamaksharam sadasattatparam yati
Swamadidevah Purushah Puranaha
Swamadideva Purushah Puranaha
Swamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam
Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam
Vettasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama
Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama
Tvaya Tatam Vishwamanantarupa
Tvaya Tatam Vishwa Anantarupa.
So we saw until 37 in the last class. So we are beginning to see that in the last chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna was giving examples of his glory by showing certain things that Arjuna would recognize. Samaveda, if he says, Arjuna knows Samaveda, Vedanam Samavedosmi. Like that, he gave some examples, saying, that's who I am. And now, it's a sudden shift. Sarvam aham asmi, therefore Vishwa Rupa Darshanam. It's like teaching children, you teach little bit, little by little, 1, 2, 3, and then ABC, and then slowly addition, and then this thing. So their interest is constantly there, maintained. That is the beauty. And constantly interest must be maintained. For that, good teachers are needed. If teachers are not good, the child will lose interest because the child is absorbing so much and has the capacity, and that capacity should be maintained. You can do it. You can do it. You're very good. Come on, next. Deal with this, deal with this, deal with this, like that. So that's the beauty of the human being, human mind. And so jump from Vibhuti Yoga to Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Previously, partial Darshana Yoga. Now, total Darshana Yoga. So, therefore, previously partial and his understanding was partial. Therefore, Bhayam was the response. Bhayam. And then now, Bhayam, because he did not include himself in that Vishwarupa Darshana. I mean, even here, Vishwarupa Darshana is to the extent that there is fear. Dvaita Buddhi is there. Fear is caused by Dvaita Buddhi. And so here he is beginning to appreciate that that fear is not quite completely legitimate, and so he sees that, and so that bhayam is now being converted to or transitioning to namah. He's going to say that in this mantra itself. He's going to say, I think, maybe next one. Namah Kritva, Namo Namaste, and all will come in the next mantra. So he appreciates now what was said in the 9th chapter. Tamoham sarva bhuteshu. Name dveshyaha asti, name priyaha. Something like that. There is a mantra. So now this God is not somebody who can take sides, because name priyaha asti, name dveshyaha asti. That means everybody is equal. Samoham. Everybody is equal in my eyes, and everybody is equal to me also. That also. So you look at how many levels of understanding are there. So initially, God will take care of me. Good, that's needed. We all need that because otherwise we will perish. Unless there is some hope in life, we can't survive. So that hope has to be given. And slowly bring the jiva up higher and higher and higher. Then you'll go to heaven. You'll be happy there ever after. This happily living ever after is very important for us. That's why all these movies are successful. Movies are successful because we all believe that we will happily live ever after. Therefore, they make a lot of money out of that belief. And then slowly Advaita Vedanta comes and say, let's talk about happily living ever after. And so, that's the journey here. And so Arjuna begins to acknowledge now that Bhagavan takes no sides, and Drona, Bhishma, everybody is equal, and everybody, dharma, karma, phala, dhata, aham, or tvam karma, phala, dhata. And karma, that even God cannot violate the law of karma. What did we see in that Kathopanishad we saw, just last class? Ritam pibantau sukritasya loke. That Ritam Satyam is, Shakracharya is saying it is karma phalam. Karma phalam is Satyam. Therefore, nobody can, even God cannot come and intervene. His intervention is not possible. And so that Arjuna recognizes and says, yeah, now I understand. Now I understand I cannot blame the doctor for giving me a very bitter medicine, or I cannot blame the nurse for giving me this injection, which is so painful. People don't go to the hospital. You know what? One reason, many of them have only one. They're afraid of this needle. This needle is a problem. At least they should not hide it from us, no? They don't hide it from. They just do it like this in front of us. And then the liquid is a thick syringe also. How can you deal with this thick syringe, And at least you keep it on the side and you say, how are you? Check, finish it off. Okay. How come it's been a while since you came? You look pretty good, etc. Then finish off. Yeah. Some people are good at that. But these nurses think that we are also used to all this. We are not used to all this. They live in the hospital. And therefore, we can't blame the nurse or the doctor. Just like we don't blame the nurse or the doctor. So also, I cannot blame Bhagavan for what is happening. Popular question. Why does Bhagavan inflict so much suffering on the human? If he's such a compassionate guy, what is this? It's a very popular question. Everybody has this question. We have to now understand that that's a silly question. That's based on a lack of proper understanding, limited understanding of God. God is sitting somewhere and he's watching this fun and then deciding who is going to be happy and who's going to be sad. This kind of understanding is there. Then another question will come. Why me? Why me? See, why suffering in this world is a little better, because that person has the time to worry about other people's suffering. Only if I'm sensitive to other people's suffering, I'll have the question why God is doing. But to go there, I have to first cross over my own sorrow. This my own sorrow crossing is a big thing. Why me? Why am I being targeted like this? So, and that's why this doctor example is good. Swamiji gives this example. He says that is why God, now Bhagavan is called Vaidyanatha. Vaidyanatha. We have a Vaidyanathan in our class and a good friend. And so Vaidyanatha, he's the guy who keeps all Vaidyas also going. He's the Natha of all Vaidyas. And so, and what kind of medicine he gives? Huh? Vairagya. And Vidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Bhishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshina Murtaye Nama. So, Bhishaje Bhavaroginam. The medicine for what roga? It's the roga is called Bhavaro. In our classical music, after I studied Vedanta, suddenly what happens? You also might be wondering, if you look at all our compositions, they'll have these words. Bhava Roga will be there. Roga. Roga means disease. We know all kinds of diseases, but they talk only about one disease. It's called Samsara Roga. That Bhava. Amazing it is. So Bhishaje. Bhishaj means doctor. Vaidyaha. Vishaje, unto the doctor who solves or who takes away my bhavaroga. Vishaje bhavaroginam. And how? Nidhaye sarva vidyanam nidhi. You are the repository of all knowledge. And all knowledge padke kya? What is the use of studying so much, getting so many degrees? Still I am depressed, still I get depressed. Therefore, there is this Brahma Vidya, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Elsewhere it is said. That is why Mundaka says, Tab Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshta Putraya Praha. Brahmaji taught his eldest son, Atharva. He taught what? Brahma Vidya. And what is the Brahma Vidya? Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. It is the most fundamental of all Vidyas. Okay? Without that Vidya, no other Vidya will be completely helpful. It will help, no doubt. Vidya is very helpful. Any Vidya is helpful, but helpful, that's all. For comforts, it is good. But for Sukham, we need to see that. Okay? So that's the idea. So therefore, this why Bhagavan did this question no longer arises in Arjuna's mind. He's beginning to see that. And therefore, why Drona should die in my hands? Why Bhishma should die in my hands? First of all, why? What is this? It's not possible. This is not acceptable. This not acceptable business is not in your hands. You better learn to accept. That's how it is. That's how it is. But I can be happy that I'm following Dharma. Dharma is there. Nothing is wrong. Dharma is there. That's it. So what I do, I may not like. Others also may not like what I do. This is another problem. I don't do things because others, what will others say? What will others say? What will they think of me? So I think this is the saddest thing in our life. Leading a life for others' sake. And so we have to, others are important, very important for us. Others' sake is good. That's a nice thing. Thinking about others is good. But that should not influence us in making decisions about dharma, because others don't know what dharma is. Others know some dharma, some adharma. But raga dvesha will take over dharma and adharma for most people's minds. Therefore, this dharmic person is always alone. Correct? Always alone. Not lonely, always alone. Dharmic person is never lonely, but always alone. The decision has to be made. No, I must do this. I am alone in this because nobody will agree with me. They will say, oh, you're ruining your life. They'll say, what is this? You are living an old-fashioned life. Today's world is different. You can't live like this. 10 people will come and say that. So Yudhishthira and all that, they lived a life of dharma. But even Yudhishthira became a victim. He also had to tell, why me? Correct? Why me? Says that. Why me? And there is a beautiful shloka, okay? And Swamiji quotes this shloka. Let me see if I wrote it down somewhere. Very beautiful shloka. Look at this, okay? Look at this. Avashyam bhavi bhavanam pratikaro bhavet yadi. Just listen first. Afterwards, you can write it down. Avashyam bhavi bhavanam pratikaro bhavet yadi. Things that have to happen. Avashyam bhavi. Bhagavan Bhashikarya uses the word avashyam bhavi, right? For that, Ritam is equal to karma phalam. Avashyam bhavitvad. Because a karma phalam nobody can change the course of karma is done means karma phalam is waiting. And God cannot say, okay, I will give an exemption, waiver. Waiver name. It'd be nice to have some waiver, blanket waiver. No. So he says here, avashyam bhavi bhavana. That which has to happen, pratikaro bhavet yadi. If there was a way to get an exemption to that karma phalam, if there was a way, pratikaro bhavet yadi. If there was a way, a remedy for that, okay, some exemption, if there was some tax law exemptions and all people have, if there was an exemption like that, okay, tada, in that case, dukkair na lipyate lipyeran nala rama yudhishthira. If there was such an exemption, this Nala and Rama and Yudhishthira would not have suffered. Rama, apna Bhagavan Rama also suffered. All life long he suffered. We don't hear much about after Pattabhisheka what kind of life he has. But all the entire Ramayana is just on and on and on and one suffering after another. Something or the other goes on and on. And so this is a beautiful shloka. So therefore that suffering, the only way to do is learn from Rama is to accept. Accept comfortably and say, hey, there's no need to react. You do what you're supposed to do. And if you do what you're supposed to do, then there's no difference between Jiva and Ishvara. Correct? The person does what is supposed to be done, despite grave discomfort and inconvenience and even trauma, then we can fall at the person's feet. Correct? That's it enough. God is there, right there in front of us. You don't have to look around for God. That's enough for me. This will protect me. He's my protector. He's my role model. She's my role model. Our life is made. All this Swarga and all this business, we don't know whether Swarga exists or not. Veda says we believe. But that is all too much. That's after death also. I'm talking about this life. Correct? So, therefore, Tans Titikshasva Bharata. We saw that in the second chapter itself. Bhagavan had mentioned that. And so, this Titikshasva Bharata has to be done in this life. When I'm sick, I can't ask the doctor, how do I get immunity? How do I develop immunity? It has to be talked about, thought about, practiced when I'm not sick. When I'm well, I should practice all these things. When things are going well, that's a time to think about all these things. What is the right way to live? What are the ways in which I can minimize agony to myself? Very practical, very practical. And how long can this last? Simply eating whatever I want and doing whatever I want. So do it. So that is what here also. So here also have to practice when things are going well. And so here there is no such thing as injustice. Karma phalam is there for every karma. There is adrishta phalam, there is drishta phalam. Running away from the law, cutting corners. Is it really useful to me? Am I really benefiting from this? It looks like I'm benefiting some few thousand rupees. Is that what? Is it a bad bargain? Isn't it a bad bargain? It should strike. Now is the time. Now is the time. And things are going well. Now is the time. Give. Can I give more than I can take? Yeah. Those thoughts have to be done now. And so let me accept. Prarabdha is there. Nobody likes disease. Nobody likes pain. Nobody likes to be disappointed, frustrated, etc. But let me accept what comes. The minute I say I will accept what comes, you know what? Nobody can make me sad. Correct? Nothing has the ability to make me sad. I may suffer because of some power cuts and mosquito bites and all kinds of suffering is possible. Yeah, disease is always there. But I tell you what, if for the minute I have this prasada buddhi itself is enough. Sometimes Swamiji will say, karma yoga, is it? Karma yoga, is it? Don't worry about Vedanta, knowledge, Jiveshwara, Aikyam and all. That is okay. That is there. Eventually will come there. But karma yoga buddhi, is it? That will take you all the way. All the way. Tad yogairapi gamyate. Yat sankhyaif prapyate sthanam. Tad yogairapi gamyate. Bhagavan says that. That which you can get by jnana yoga, sankhyairapi, that yogairapi gamyate. Prasada buddhya, karma yoga buddhya prapyate. Very strong statement it is. And so, Arjuna has come over all of that. And so, Tvam Adi Devaha, this shloka number 38. Adi Deva. So, in some context, Brahmaji is the first Deva. because he's coming. But then in other context, from Vishnu's navel, he comes. And so Vishnu has already been there before Brahmaji. And so you are Adi Deva. You are all before all the Devatas and Pradhana Devatas and Upadevatas and all are there. But you are there all the time. You were there. You are the Adi Deva. And Purushaha. By now you should know the definitions of, at least two definitions of Purusha, correct? Yes.
Pure vasati purusha.
Okay. Pure vasati iti purushaha. To put it differently, puru means shariram. Purau ushati.
Pura ushati.
Ush. Asati ushati. Pura ushati. Look into that. Pura ushati iti purushaha. The one who indwells this Navadware Pure. Correct? And that city, 9-gated city, is Purushaha. And another definition is Sarvam Purayati iti Purushaha. One who fills up everything is called Purusha. One who is all pervasive is also called. So those two definitions can be kept in mind. And Purana. Purana. I think this Purana comes from Purana. Pura eva namaha. Purana. But Purana has a different meaning. Purana means old. ये पुराना गाड़ी है उसको छोड़ दो, sell it, sell it and you buy a new vehicle. That means what? Somebody is ready to buy a purana gadi. Somebody is ready to buy. That is why I am ready to sell. Interesting. There is always a buyer for some. Youth, I think it is old, it is Katara, this, that, etc. But somebody else is there to buy. But Yahanta Purana, Pura eva Navaha. It is ancient yet fresh, new. And so that's a beautiful word for Atma. And so, na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana. We saw that earlier. Same Puranaha. Now, there Bhagavan said Puranaha. Here who is saying? Here Arjuna is saying Puranaha. Very interesting, correct? And so Arjuna seems to be indicating, now I understand, Puranaha. Ancient, Anadihi, ancient yet new, means Anadihi, Adidevaha, all connected. Then, Tvamasya. Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. Tvam Asya Vishwasya, this world, this universe, of this universe, who are you of this universe? Param Nidhanam. Nidhanam. You are when the entire world, the world is constantly changing. So you are the unchanging behind that changing world. For something to change, something to dance, there must be a floor. Only then the dance can happen. And so you are the Nidhanam. But then, so you are the Layasthanam. The world is changing. And then they also talk about Pralaya. Pralaya means this world disappears completely. Vyaktam, right now it's all differentiated, it's manifest. And then unmanifest. Like the dream world. Dream world is just a very active, dynamic world, exactly like the waking world it is. Dream world is no different than the waking world. That is why it can cause me joy, it can cause me sorrow. The dream world, which is not a real world. Still, Bahar, I'm sweating. Dream is only personal. But sweating is real. It's happening right now. This body is sweating. This body is shivering. This body is saying, ha, ho, ho, no. Therefore, that Vyakta Jagat is there in dream world, then it becomes Avyaktam, deep sleep. Avyaktam. There's not a single differentiation. Even the idea of I is gone. Okay? That is called Avyaktam. Like that, this world also, this physical world also pralaya is possible after so many yugas, etc. We've seen that. And so that pralaya, after pralaya means everything gone. But then you will not be gone. You are the param nidhanam. That Satchidananda Atma, Brahma is param nidhanam. You are that Brahma. And so what happens? So Oshadibhyaha, all these plants and animals and all, Layasthanam of that is Prithvi, and then Prithvi Layasthanam is Apaha, Apaha Layasthanam is Agnihi, etc. Goes all the way back to Akasha. Akasha's Layasthanam is what? Atma. Tasmat va etasmat Atmana Akasha Sambhutaha. Patient Srishti was like this, then Laya will be like this. You are the Param Nidhanam, you are Atma. Nothing. Atma cannot go back to anything because Atma also is helpless. It is a self-existent. So that's it. It will remain forever. And so from Param Nidhanam, you are the Param Nidhanam. You are the ultimate Nidhanam, ultimate support. And then what? Vetasi Vedyam cha Param cha Dhama. Veta, Vidudha. Veta, knower. Literal meaning is knower. And Vedyam, you are the knower and you are to be known. You are the knower and you are to be known. Only in Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, you'll have these kinds of words. And so now you can bring in all the Dvaita, that differentiation. Pramata, Prameyam. Pramata is knower. Prameyam is to be known. Vishayaha is object. Vishayi. Vishayaha asti iti. Vishayi. Achetanam, Chetanam. Only two things in this world. Chetanam, Achetanam. Achetanam, Chetanam. That's all there is. So you are both the Chetana Vastu and Achetana also you are. Chetanam. So you are the subject, you are the object. You are Atma, you are Anatma also. That's what he's saying. Veta, Vedyam cha. Okay. Now he's recognizing that. Veta and Vedyam. He's slowly recognizing that he's coming towards Jiveshwara Aikyam. That is coming from the 12th chapter, 13th chapter onwards, right? Jiveshwara Aikyam. That is Aikya. This one, Khanda. So, Vetasi Vedyam cha Param cha Dhama. And Dhama means Chaitanya. And you are Param Chaitanya. Means what? You are neither Chetanam nor Achetanam. You are neither subject nor object. You are neither Dharma nor Adharma. Anyatra Dharma, Tanyatra Dharma. You are subject and object, but you are neither subject nor object. Is it possible? Yes, only with this Bhagavan and with Atma it is possible. Possible because you look at the person, Jiva itself. Three states of experience are there. Jagrad Avastha, Swapna Avastha, Shushupti Avastha. So I am a waking person. I am an awake, alive waker. I am a waker. Then I become a dreamer. Then I become a sleeper. So I am waker, I am dreamer, I am sleeper. Or I am neither waker, nor dreamer, nor sleeper. Because if I were waker, then how did I become sleeper? I am changing. The changing part ko chhod do. I cannot be somebody who keeps on changing like this. Atma cannot keep changing like this. Waker is Atma, dreamer is Atma, sleeper is Atma. But Atma cannot be waker. Atma cannot be sleeper. Atma cannot be dreamer, sleeper, etc. Then who is Atma? Turiyaha. Those who studied Mandukya Upanishad will say, pick up on that and say, I am Turiyaha. Turiyaha is what? It is not another state. It is that which supports all these states. Param Nidhanam, Param Dhama. Dhama means that support, that turiya avastha. Dhama, param dhama. That's why this char dham, all this barsana dham, all this dham word is a very important word. It is a nice word. And so, paramcha dhama, I think you know that. Tvaya tatam vishwam ananta rupa. Hey ananta rupa, you are now somebody who has no beginning, anadi adidevaha, and ananta also, no end. Therefore, ananta rupa. Tvaya tatam vishwam. Vishwam, this universe, this cosmos, this world. Tvaya tatam. Tatam means
Pervading.
Pervaded. By you, the world is pervaded. Tvaya vishwam tatam. And we saw this word pervaded, tatam, somewhere.
Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha. Maya tatam. There Krishna says Maya tatam idam sarvam. This idam sarvam, this world is pervaded by me. Now Arjuna is saying the same statement. Tvaya tatam vishwa. Okay? That shows Arjuna is previously he was shaking his head because he didn't have any choice, Students, what choice they have? Tell me. When teacher says something, that too in a class like this, traditional class, at least in other classes, they can keep on asking questions. You know what happened? Yesterday, I heard this. One of Puju Swamiji's students, very good teacher in Bangalore, was invited by the Valley School. There is a school in Bangalore called Valley School. J. Krishnamurti set up, the students of J. Krishnamurti set up these schools. Nice schools, children get very different kind of education, and so it's very good. And Rishi Valley, all this, and then school in Chennai, I think they call it school, like that. They have very interesting. So nice, children get very good education. So that one of the directors, the principals of the school, invited this Guruji, not a Swami, but to come and talk. And so this Guruji went. And Bangalore, he is teaching. So all his students went, 40, 50, 60 people and all went to this valley school. And he started talking. Some topic was there. Maybe Atma Bodha or something like that. Then, 10 minutes later, that principal director says, oh, great. Let's have a discussion on this Atma. Why is this like this? Why is it like? Then something was said. Then he started, continued. Then again, 3 minutes later, why should not be this? So it's constantly getting interrupted. It seems what he did, that Guruji, what he did is, he realized it was not working out. Means this is not the way to study this subject. And nothing wrong in his questioning, but questioning became the main purpose of this thing, and no listening. Question after you listen. So we have a satsang only, constantly questioning only going on. So then his mother was not well. And he said, you know what? I got a call now. My mother is not well. Actually, I have to go. And then they all left. They all left, it seems. And so, well, what else can they do? These acharyas, what can they do? Maybe it could be handled in a different way also. But maybe it could have one-on-one session would have been good. Or maybe a Q&A, not a lecture, but just a Q&A. Anybody, ask any question. Let's talk. Atma is like this. Okay, first. And then if they like Q&A, I think the teacher must be prepared just for a Q&A. Correct? Just for a Q&A. Nothing wrong with the Q&A. Without a lecture. Nothing wrong with it. I would be open to it. So tomorrow they're going to do that. Shankara Jayanti is there tomorrow, and they're, I've been talking here on Bhajagovind. So they said this time they came up with a plan. They said they're going to have a panel of 4 or 5 people, and they want to ask me questions. And that way it will be non-monotonous and all that. I said that's a very good idea. I've been talking a lot anyway. And so again, I come, I don't know So I said, that's a very good idea. And so some questions they will ask me about Shankara Jayanti, Adi Shankaracharya, and Ramanujacharya also they wanted. I said, you know what, I can talk about Advaita Vedanta and Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita and all, I can talk. About the Siddhanta, I can talk. But Ramanujacharya's life and all that, don't ask me. I'm not good at it. I know a little bit, but I can't talk about with authority, I can't talk. Shankaracharya's life and all, year by year life and all, I'm reasonably comfortable and familiar. What Bhashyams he wrote. And so then they said, no, we're not going to talk about life per se, but mostly about the Siddhanta. I said, okay, good. If somebody wants to talk about Ramanujacharya, I'll be happy to hear that person, I said. So that's tomorrow's plan. So, therefore, this Tvaya Tatam, that's where it all went. So Maya Tatam. So from Maya Tatamidam to Tvaya Tatam, correct? That's all the story just for this one. So teacher said, then finally student says. And so that's why in this tradition, this Q&A and all kept for a later time. Continues because the subject matter is so different. And the orientation of the students is like this, and the teacher's work has to change it to 180 degrees back. Okay? It is like turning the ship completely 180 degrees. And so you can't, you have to allow that to happen. That allowance is given. That is why we say don't ask questions in between. Not that the teacher can handle any question, but you first listen. And then afterwards you'll have questions you ask. So that's why it's unlike in a school or a college where you can just raise your hand, right? Raise your hand. Ask a question. Nothing wrong with that. So there it's okay. But here it won't work. Because the train of thought is so important. And that we are all conditioned. This Swamiji would say, this whole Vedanta is purely deconditioning. Deconditioning of our mind. We are all thinking, I am finite, I am a mortal. But Atma is not mortal. What to do? Atma is not mortal. How do I change myself, my idea from I am a mortal to I am immortal? If I say I am immortal, will people buy that idea? People will say you're an idiot. Who is immortal? Show me one immortal person in this world. That's what they will say and walk away. Therefore, this has to be handled very, very carefully. And so, therefore, look at that here. Tvaya tatam vishwam anantarupa. Okay. So, I found that to be interesting. Maya tatamidam, there, Krishna. Here, Tvaya tatamidam. Idam here is replaced by the word Vishwam, correct? Let's see what the translation looks like. Okay, let's translate this. Number 38. You are the primal God. You are the primal God, Adidevaha, comma, the ancient Purusha, comma, you are the limitless ground of dissolution. You are the limitless ground of dissolution. Means you can imagine things like ocean, waves, all kinds of things are happening. The wave is told. Wave tells this ocean that you are water and you are the Layasthanam. Like that. Full stop. You are the knower, the known. You are the knower, comma, the known, as well as the abode. You are the knower, the known, as well as the abode, which is beyond both. beyond both. The word both can be in parenthesis, brackets, full stop. The universe is pervaded by you. O Lord, with endless forms. Ananta Rupa. So I did not explain it that way. I said Ananta Rupa. One who is Ananta. That is also correct. But because the word Rupa is there here, Ananta cannot have a form. But here Ananta Rupa means whose manifestations have no end. No end. There's no, the variety is way too much, infinite variety. And that is how your manifestation is. So let's look at this. You are the primal God, the ancient Purusha. You are the limitless ground of dissolution of this universe. Full stop. You are the knower, the known, as well as the abode, which is beyond both. Full stop. The universe is pervaded by you, O Lord, with endless forms. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Vayur-yamognihi
Vayur-yamognihi
Varuna-shashankaha
Varuna-shashankaha
Prajapatistvam prapitamahascha
Prajapatisthvam prapitamahascha
Namo namastestu sahasrakritvaha
Namo namastestu sahasrakritvaha
Punascha bhuyopi namo namaste
Punascha bhuyopi namo namaste
Vayur-yamognirvaruna-shashankaha
Vayur-yamognirvaruna-shashanka
Prajapatistvam prapitamahascha
Prajapatisthvam prapitamahascha
Namo namastestu sahasrakritvaha
Namo namastestu sahasrakritvaha
Punascha bhuyopi namo namaste
Punascha bhuyopi namo namaste.
So you're chanting very well now, right? Remember the days some years ago, right? So so the gist of this shloka is you are everything. You are everything. Okay, he's just listing things. Vayuhu, Yamaha, Agnihi, Varunaha, Shashankaha, Prajapatihi, Prapitamaha. Come. You are all these things. You are Vayuhu. Vayuhu we know. Yamaha. Yamaha should go with Akasha, right? Yamaha means time, Kala Tattva. So Kala goes along with Akasha. So Vayuhu, Yamaha, Agnihi, Varunaha, water, Apaha, Shashankaha, moon, as a representative of Prithvi, okay? And Prajapatihi, Tvam. So this Vishnu is there, then Brahmaji comes out of Vishnu's navel, and then Brahmaji created 14 Prajapatis, right? And so this Prajapati refers to 14 Prajapatis and Prapita Mahascha. Pita Mahaha. So Brahmaji is there. So Prajapati is there. Prajapati's parent is Brahma's parent is Vishnu. So Vishnu has been there. So he's you are, anybody is there, you are the source of that. Brahmaji itself, you are the source. And so that is referred to by this Prapitamahascha. Prapitamaha. So Pitamaha means grandfather. Okay, so father's father. That's the idea here. Literal meaning. Prapitamaha is one level up, one generation up. Great grandfather. And so you are the greatest. So nobody can climb up. Just in case somebody wanted to say Praprapritamaha. So it includes everything. And so you are all of that. And in 7th chapter we saw Bijam Sarva Bhutanam Vidhi Partha, etc. We saw that. Sanatanam. And so Bijam, because you are the Bijam, only then you can be Prapitamaha. You have to be that self-existent, self-evident. Call it Atma now. Bijam. Therefore, you can be Prapitamaha. You are the source of everything. Therefore, you are all of these things. Why? How can you be? You are the source, I can understand. But how can you become all these things? Well, that is because you are the Nimitta Karanam and you are the Upadana Karanam also. Nimitta Karanam, I am aware of. Pot maker makes the pot and walks away from the pot, and pot is there. And therefore, I can go buy that pot and make my home. But here it is not like that. You are the maker and you are the material also. And therefore, since I know the material pervades the karyam, the object, but since you are the Nimitta Karanam also, I can say you pervade the whole world. That's the logic there. And so, Karanam, you are the Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Therefore, you are everything. And like all our, any example, clay, pot, gold, ornaments, everything, just like that. And so, therefore, you are Vayu, etc. And then, and of course, earlier we saw Parancha Dham, you are everything, but then you are not everything also. Matstani Sarva Bhutani. Then Nachaham Teshu Avastita. Everybody is in me, but I am not in them. Everybody is in me, but I am not in them. Okay, that I can follow. Then Nacha Matstani Bhutani. That is what is the grand statement. That grand statement. Nacha Matstani. Because this is not Dvaita. And therefore, this is Advaita. And therefore what? A pot is in me, says the clay. Pot is in me, says the clay. Says the clay. Pot is in me, but I am not in the pot. I am not in the pot, says clay. We have to deal with that statement, right? I am not in the pot. So look at how this one pot, we keep this one pot, the entire Shastram we are just teaching with this one pot. Can you believe that? And so, thanks to Swami, this is a tradition. This is a tradition. Swamiji must have seen his Guruji talk like that. And Shankaracharya must have taught like that. Because pots were available those days also. Why they are available? How do we know? Because he's talking about Mrittika. Chandogya Upanishad talks about it. And Uddalaka says, get me a pot of water. And Vrittike Deva Satyam Saumya, like that he says. So that clay is Satyam. And like that he says, Tattvamasi Shvetaketo. You are that, he says, finishes off. And then he says, once again, okay. Then he talks about a nail cutter, Nakha Nigrintanam. And he says, the nail cutter, those days, that means nail cutter was there. Okay? Nakha Nigrintanam. And he says, that metal it is made of, The metal pervades the nail cutter, and all the world of entire metals is all pervaded by that metal. Like that, he gives many examples. And so, therefore what? Therefore, there's only one thing left, and that is I am in awe, and therefore, Namo Namaha Namahate Astu Sahasa Kritvaha. Now, previously I was afraid, and now I'm not afraid. I can only do Namaskara to you. Because this is mind-boggling, and this nobody can miss this now. I cannot miss it now. Therefore, Sahasa Kritvaha. Sahasa Kritvaha means 1,000 times. 1,000 times. He must have got a leg cramps, I think, Arjuna, doing Namaskara 1,000 times. You know, we do this, Aruna Prashna. We do Namaskara. After every Panjabi, we have to do a Namaskara. Lie flat and then get up and then do. And this Aruna Prashna takes 1 hour, 1.5 hours to chant. And after every minute, you have to do Namaskara. So it's a good exercise, physical exercise also. And along the way, you get to chant also. And so, the Sahasa Kritvaha. Then what? After that, what? I'm still not satisfied after 1,000 times. Then what? Punaha cha bhuyaha api namo namaste. Punaha cha. Once again, bhuyaha means punaha again. Punaha cha. And then punaha api namo namaste. Bhuyaha also means punaha. Again, namaha namahate. That is all that is left. Nothing else is left to be said. I can only be in awe, and your compassion knows no bounds because you made me see. You made me see because I am a go-getter. I am a warrior. I am out to get people. And this go-getter cannot be taught Vedanta. Go-getters can't be taught anything. Not possible. You need adhikarit. And so, therefore also, namaste. You have completely changed my vision. Complete. Therefore, namaste. So let's see the meaning of this one. You are Vayu, Agni, Yama, or time principle. You are Vayu, Agni, Yama, Varunaha, Shashankaha, within brackets the moon. You are Vayu, Agni, time, water, moon, Prajapatihi, and the great grandfather. See, that's why if you read translations alone, you will get stuck. You get stuck after some point. Translations are useful only after the subject matter is properly understood. Then you can hang on to the translation and you can review that periodically. That's fine. Okay, Shashankaha, the moon, Prajapatihi, and the great grandfather. Full stop. 1,000-fold salutations be to you. A 1,000-fold salutations be to you. Semicolon. Salutations are Namaha. Namaha be to you again and again. You are Vayu, Agni, time, Varuna, Shashankaha, the moon, Prajapatihi, and the great grandfather. Full stop. 1,000-fold salutations be to you. Semicolon. Salutation be to you again and again. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samastas Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.